Welcome back to part 3 of Guitar Hero How I Remember It. I know it's been a minute since I last covered this retrospective, and I apologize that it took so long to release another part of this retrospective. I got busy with other projects and streaming, but anyway, in this video we'll be covering all the Guitar Hero games that were released in 2009. I won't be including the DJ Hero games in this video since I've personally never played them, and I won't be including the terrible mobile versions of this game. Now let's start off with the first game that was released in 2009, Guitar Hero Metallica. Guitar Hero Metallica was the second band-focused game in the series, and in my opinion, it's the best band-focused Guitar Hero game. The game contains a great selection of Metallica songs, along with 20 guest acts that were handpicked by Metallica themselves. The Death Magnetic DLC from Guitar Hero 3 and World Tour are playable in this game, and all the songs in this pack are fun to play as well. The Expert Plus mode for drums was introduced in this game since most of Metallica's catalog has double bass incorporated into the songs, and adding this feature was the best way to experience some of thrash metal's best songs the way they were supposed to be played. All of the Metallica members, including Lemmy from Motorhead and King Diamond from Merciful Fate, were motion captured for this game, though it would have been cool to see some of the past Metallica members like Cliff Burton or Jason Newsted motion captured for this game for specific eras in this game, but I understand why it couldn't happen. The game still uses the same engine as Guitar Hero World Tour, and the tap notes are still broken. Overall, Guitar Hero Metallica is a great game, and it added some new features and some challenging songs to the series. Now let's move on to Guitar Hero Smash Hits. Guitar Hero Smash Hits is a greatest hits collection of Guitar Hero, and it includes songs from Guitar Hero 1, 2, 3, 80s, and one song from Guitar Hero Aerosmith, and all of the songs are the master recordings and have full band support. This game also uses the same engine as Guitar Hero World Tour. This game, in my opinion, is probably the most pointless game in the series. This game could have easily been DLC for Guitar Hero World Tour, and it was sold for full retail price. And some of the charts are goofy in this game. Overall, Guitar Hero Smash Hits is a fine enough game, but it really could have been DLC instead of releasing it as a full price $60 game. Now let's move on to the mainline game, Guitar Hero 5. Guitar Hero 5 was the 5th main installment in the Guitar Hero franchise, and it was released in September of 2009. It improved on a couple things from past games, and it added some new features. The engine has been completely redesigned, and it made the game look more modern, and the engine for tap notes has been improved to be less broken. The multiplayer has also been improved. Party mode was introduced, where players can drop in and out at any time without having to quit out of the song. Originally in Guitar Hero World Tour, a band could only have one of each instrument. Now Guitar Hero 5 allows for players to arrange for any combination of instruments, including all 4 players on the same instrument if they so choose. Yes, that means there can be 4 drummers at once. Speaking of drums, one of the few negatives I have with this game is the engine for drums is really broken. If you play songs on drums that support Expert Plus on Expert, the drums can get very broken and it makes them nearly impossible to hit and you fail out of the song. Kurt Cobain, Johnny Cash, and Carlos Santana are avatars part of this game for their specific songs and available as unlockable characters. This led to Courtney Love suing Activision because you can make Kurt Cobain's avatar sing songs other than Nirvana songs. For example, you can find videos of Kurt Cobain singing YMCA by Village People in this game. If you're playing on Xbox 360, you can play as your Xbox Live avatar, and this is an Xbox only feature. The setlist in this game is just okay in my opinion. There are some great songs in this game, but for others, not so much. I don't know why I would want to play a Gorillaz song in a Guitar Hero game. Don't get me wrong, Feel Good Inc. is a great song, but it's not really a song that I would think of playing in a Guitar Hero game. There's also some weird censorship in this game. For example, in 2 Minutes to Midnight by Iron Maiden, They censor the word kill during the chorus. Just take a listen. I don't know why they would censor that, but anyway. Guitar Hero 5 is a great game, but this is where the decline of the series was starting, and it would get worse from here. A few months after GH5 was released, a new game called Band Hero was released in November of 2009. The setlist was a lot more family friendly, and it contained a lot of pop songs and emo and punk songs. I actually like a lot of the emo and punk songs in this game, and yes, there are a lot of pop songs from artists like Taylor Swift and Maroon 5 in this game. Speaking of that, Taylor Swift, Adam Levine from Maroon 5, and No Doubt are playable avatars in this game, and a similar story to Guitar Hero 5, No Doubt sued Activision because the members of No Doubt can play any songs in the game other than No Doubt songs, so that's why Taylor Swift is not allowed to sing on anything that's not her songs, though you could make her rock out like Metallica songs and stuff like that. There's also some awkward censorship due to the family-friendly nature of this game, such as the censorship on Don McLean's American Pie, where they censor the word whiskey during the choruses, and this happens 8 times. The game uses the same engine as Guitar Hero 5, and the drum engine has been fixed to be less broken on Expert. Overall, Band Hero is a good game, but it's not great. It's definitely the weakest Guitar Hero game in the franchise. Here's one more game to end off 2009, and hopefully it's better than this game. The final Guitar Hero game to end off 2009 was the final band-focused game in the series, and it was based off of the classic 80s band Van Halen. The game contains a setlist of 25 classic Van Halen tracks, including 3 of Eddie Van Halen's most famous solos, and it's only consisting songs from the David Lee Roth era of the band. As much as I love Van Halen with David Lee Roth, it would have been nice to see some songs from the Sammy Hagar era represented in this game. This game also has some odd guest acts in the set list. Normally it would just be songs that inspired the group, but instead it just seems like it was just a random mix of songs from Wolfgang Van Halen's iPod from 2009 that was chosen for this game. Speaking of Wolfgang Van Halen was included in this game along with the other members of Van Halen. The 80s outfits can be unlocked after beating the game, and Wolfgang Van Halen's avatar has a retro outfit copied from the dice shirt and patchwork jeans getup worn by his father in the video for Panama, since he wasn't born during the 80s. My only real issue with this game is that this game feels a lot more rushed compared to the other games. That could be why it was given out as a promotion, where it was given out for free to Guitar Hero 5 owners before the initial release. Even with the issues, I enjoyed this game just as much as I enjoyed Guitar Hero Metallica. This is probably the weakest band-focused game in the series, but that doesn't mean it's the worst game in the series. Now let's answer the question: did the year of 2009 kill Guitar Hero? Well, yeah, kinda. In 2009 alone, Activision released Guitar Hero 5, Guitar Hero Metallica, Guitar Hero Van Halen, Guitar Hero On Tour Decades, Guitar Hero Smash Hits, Band Hero, and DJ Hero. Not counting the mobile games, that's a total of 7 games released in 1 year. And some of these games were still sold at full price of $60. The amount of games that were being released in a year started to oversaturate the market, and the sales for each game was getting worse and worse. These full band sets took up space at most retail stores, and the sales for instruments was starting to decline since most of the people that bought these games were still using the old instruments. At least Harmonix was smart and waited a year to release the next mainline Rock Band game. Another thing that killed Guitar Hero was the decline of rhythm games. People were starting to move on from rhythm games and they were getting into different things. And by the end of 2009, the market market for rhythm games suffered a 50% decrease, going from 1.4 billion in 2008 to 700 million in 2009 due to the oversaturation on the market. Stay tuned for part 4 where we take a look at the epic conclusion of the series, Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock.